Yo, what's going on, Kicks Army? Today I'll be doing a sneaker drawing on the Nike Kyrie 6 Mom Collection Red, as well as talking about the future of KicksArt. As always, I will have a direct link to this stencil that you can find below on my website, kicksart.com. On there, I have over 500 sneaker coloring stencils from a variety of brands, and there's a chance that if you have a favorite sneaker, I have that exact stencil on my website. Now, without that being said, let's get it! So before we get into the main topic of today's video, let's talk about the sneaker real quick. This Kyrie 6 is one of 3 sneakers that dropped in an exclusive collaboration with New Jersey Sneaker Room. The 3 colorways featured in this collaboration are the black, cream, and the red that you're seeing in this video. And of course, the key identifier to these colorways are the hearts that are shown in the upper. Now, I don't have a specific stencil for this Nike Kyrie 6 with the hearts on the upper, which is why I drew them in myself. However, if this is something that you would want, make sure you leave a comment down below to let me know. Personally, I think all 3 colorways are fire, although I do prefer the black the best. However, I was looking through a lot of my older videos and I noticed that a number of them were either all black and gray or mostly black, so I want to kind of stay away from a heavy black colorway going forward with a lot of the videos that I do. Which is an excellent segue to today's main topic, and that is, what is the future of KicksArt? And just to give a quick recap of the inception of the brand itself, it started back in 2014 when I was still heavily into drawing sneakers, and I noticed that on YouTube there weren't really a lot of sneaker drawing videos available. I remember at the time seeing about a handful of other videos that were even remotely close to what I was looking to do, and that really sparked an idea in my head. Because what I wanted to do wasn't that complicated. All I wanted to do was create time-lapse videos of me drawing sneakers, which to me seemed like a very simple idea, but because I didn't see anybody executing it, let alone in the way that I would have envisioned it, I saw it as an opportunity. Fast forward 6 years later, and now all of a sudden I'm able to make this a full-time business to sustain myself, which is absolutely insane. So when looking at the future of KicksArt, I try to divide the different things that I do into 3 categories. The first one being my main website, kicksart.com, where I have over 500 different sneaker coloring stencils. The second category being social media content, such as the video that you're watching right now. And the third category being products, such as my Nike coloring book that I created. So let us begin with my website first. And this is essentially the most crucial part of my entire brand because it's my own digital real estate that is the hub center for everything that I do. Because let's face it, as awesome as these videos are, the real value of the brand is not in the videos that I create, but the resources that I have available on my website in the form of free sneaker coloring pages that anyone can print out. Because from the very beginning when I was making my first YouTube videos, I understood that even though there's going to be a good percentage of people that would like to learn how to draw the videos in the way that I'm showing, I knew there was at least an equal sized audience that would much rather go ahead and print out the stencil if it's already existing somewhere. Because that was pretty much me. That's how I started when I was beginning my sneaker drawing quest. All I would do is go on Google and I would search up these images of my favorite sneakers, which at the time was incredibly useful but also extremely irritating. Because if I wanted to find a stencil for a sneaker that wasn't extremely popular, like one of the main Air Jordan models or Nike Air Force One or something of that caliber, it didn't exist because nobody bothered to make it. And then even with these stencils that were already existing, there was a variety of artists that made them, so there was no direct continuity between the styles. And as someone who has OCD over the absolute littlest things, one thing that I'm very particular about is continuity. I hated printing out multiple stencils and you could easily see that the art style was completely different across all of them. Which again is where the secret sauce of my website comes in, is because not only have I probably made more sneaker coloring stencils than anybody else, and because I made all of them, visually they all have a consistent style. And certainly that style isn't perfect, but the fact that you know what to expect in terms of a level of quality is reassuring. And for both my Nike coloring book as well as the Air Jordan coloring book, I've actually gone back and redone a ton of the old original stencils that I created, but more on the coloring books later on. So as far as the website goes, the primary task is to continue to make stencils. Now, back in the day, which was like literally earlier this year, you could go ahead and send me an email through my website directly requesting a stencil and I would get to it relatively soon. However, now I've gotten to the point where I only take specific stencil requests from Patreon supporters, and the way that works is I have my lowest tier being $1 a month. You can submit 1 stencil request per month. So whenever I'm not fulfilling a stencil request from one of my Patreon supporters, I'm either working on adding more stencils that I feel need to be added, such as this very moment I'm adding a lot more Yeezy stencils, or I'm adding whatever stencils are needed for the current coloring book that I'm working on. Which is another segue into the products portion of the brand, because it wasn't until June where I actually had my own online shop. And this is huge because since I've created the shop in June, I've added 2 different coloring books, a ton of different posters, and 6 different sneaker sticker packs. Now, going forward, I'm very likely going to take my foot off the gas in terms of the posters, but I am going to plan on ramping up the production of more sneaker sticker packs as well as coloring books for sure. Because ideally, I would love to be able to drop another 5 or 6 coloring books next year. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, 5 or 6, that's really not that much, what the heck? But you gotta remember, I do literally everything else for the brand, so I only have one to me. I can only do so many things at a time, and if I were to do 5 or 6 coloring books next year, that would pretty much wrap up all the coloring books I have planned at the moment. Because right now I have both the Nike and the Jordan coloring book. I would love to add a Nike coloring book part 2, an Adidas coloring book, Yeezy, a Hypebeast coloring book, which is going to be a collection of just very Hypebeast type sneakers, a luxury brands coloring book, so that's like your Gucci's, your Louis Vuittons and stuff like that, as well as an off-white coloring book. And I'm sure there's more coloring book ideas I can come up with, but the idea is to try to hit the main coloring books that people would want the most first, so that way I'm not spending a lot of time and money on a product that people are not going to want that much. It's all part of business, which is extremely complicated yet incredibly fascinating. And it's a similar boat too with the sticker packs. Now, naturally I want to get a bunch of these other Jordan sticker packs, however I've gotten a ton of requests for Yeezy sticker packs, and really when it comes to the sticker packs I have so many that I have to make, so I'm just going to slowly inch my way towards having a huge collection by the end of next year. And even then, it's probably going to take me another 4 to 5 years to really have the collection that I want, where I have 300-400 plus different sneaker stickers, but we'll slowly get there. And maybe going through that journey, we'll see that there's other different types of products that I can introduce, none that I really have planned for at the moment, because where I'm at right now, where I have just the coloring books, the posters, and the sticker packs, it's a pretty good lineup and it keeps me pretty busy as it is. And I'm always trying to stay 3 to 4 steps ahead of myself, so I wouldn't be surprised if more products drop next year. So then lastly, the final component to KicksArt going forward is of course going to be the content. Because ultimately, content is the food that feeds any brand nowadays. And now when I actually produce content, I have a very organized website where people can go and grab my stencils for free, or they can hop on my shop and purchase the products that I've created. I didn't have that before, and that's huge. And that was really one of the big contributors to the reason why I had such a huge drought in making videos, is because I understood all the work it takes to make just a single video, and I realized that if I wanted to this be a business that I could actually grow into something that'd be way bigger in the future, I needed to create a solid foundation of different products and having a useful website in order for the videos to actually have a lot of leverage. Because it's one thing to have a brand that's just composed of videos, but it's an entirely different thing altogether to have a brand where videos are just one component of what I do. Now, the videos I'll create going forward, of course, are going to be uploaded to YouTube, as well as they're also going to go over onto my Instagram, my IGTV, and I also have quite a bit of following on TikTok, so I got to make sure I stay consistent on that too. And if you take anything away from this video, it's that I really have a lot of work ahead of me, and if I could clone myself into 4 different versions of myself to do all this work that I have to do, I definitely would. However, despite how full my plate looks, there is a deep realization that makes me very happy, and that is the only way I could have ever gotten to a point where I have this much work I have to do is if I had worked over these past 6 years to slowly position myself to be at a point where I can accomplish this right now. And guys, I'm be honest, if the brand can survive another 6 months, heck even a year, that would be unbelievable, and I would be so happy. I take absolutely nothing for granted. I am beyond thankful to even have this opportunity where I can say I'm a full-time content creator and artist. Like, to me, that is insane. How did someone like me get away with that? This whole thing started off as an idea with me just saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna put some videos on this website called YouTube of me drawing sneakers, and maybe some people will watch it, maybe a lot of people won't, but I would have wanted to watch it, so I'm gonna make it. And now look, 6 years later, your boy done messed around and built a business. Even though legally I'm technically not allowed to really do any of this stuff, but that's certainly a topic for another video that we'll get into real soon. But I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like, and if you enjoyed these style of videos and you haven't already subscribed, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow me on all my social pages. I have links to everything down below. As well as comment down below, let me know what types of video topics you would like to see me talk about, and or what sneakers you'd like to see me draw. But with that, I love you all very much. Wash your hands, be kind to others, and I will see you guys in the next video. Yeet!